Who on earth are you? Liam trembled as he dragged himself over. His laid-back expression had been replaced by shock and fear. Never did he imagine that his full strength could not even scratch his opponent. Instead, he had injured himself gravely. Was this man even human? Fletcher had clearly told them he was just an ordinary martial artist. Why was he so powerful? Liam! Run away! Quickly! Noah, who was pressed against the wall, yelled out at the top of his lungs. The moment he crossed paths with Dustin, he realized that Dustin was much stronger than they had imagined. He had been able to render him completely useless with one move. Ah! Liam cried out begrudgingly. Reluctantly, he abandoned his brother and ran away. He knew he couldn't save him. He didn't even have the power to fight Dustin to his death. If Dustin was a mountain, they were nothing but ants. His punch just now had completely crushed his will to fight. I have to tell Fletcher. This man is too frightening. He shouldn't be taken lightly, otherwise Fletcher will surely die. Liam's desire to survive pushed him to rush out of the parking lot. He was only focused on one thought. He had to tell his master to leave Swinton and never return. This man was someone they could never afford to offend. Dustin didn't bother to chase after Liam because he knew Liam's internal organs had suffered fatal damage. Who on earth are you? Why are you in Swinton? Noah was filled with fear, as if he had seen a ghost. If he knew someone so powerful existed by Natasha's side, he wouldn't dare to approach her even if he had the courage of a lion. That doesn't matter. I'll give you a chance. Tell me everything about Fletcher, and I'll spare your life, Dustin said coldly. You want me to betray him? In your dreams. Noah glared at him and used his last remaining strength to tap on his amulet. There was a crisp sound, and Noah bled to death in an instant. Dustin raised an eyebrow. He didn't expect Noah to be so determined as to opt for suicide to prevent himself from spilling anything. Chris cowered in a corner, shivering after witnessing everything. He quickly ran away without another word. He wouldn't have provoked Dustin if he knew he was so powerful. Now he had brought trouble onto himself. He was speechless. At the same time, in the lounge of the Emerald Building, Edwin and Natasha were still conversing. Ms. Harmon, I have some business at home. Please, excuse me. Edwin got ready to leave after the chat. Goodbye, Sir Hummer. Natasha did not intend to stop them and watched as they left. Mr. Lawson, do you have any news from your apprentices? Edwin immediately asked once they got in the car. Maybe they wanted to have a bit more fun. Don't worry, Sir Hummer. They will return after they deal with the matter. Fletcher smiled calmly. He was very confident in the apprentices he trained personally. They were twins, so they had a deep emotional connection. Their strength doubles once united. They were undoubtedly invincible in Swinton. That would be best. Edwin nodded without another word and ordered the driver to get going. Soon, they arrived at the Hummer Villa. However, before they could settle down, a bodyguard rushed in and cried, Sir Hummer. Mr. Lawson. Liam has sustained fatal injuries. I don't think he will make it. What? Edwin and Fletcher's faces immediately fell when they heard this. What nonsense are you saying? Liam is invincibly strong. Who could hurt him? Fletcher was very distressed, and he grabbed the bodyguard by the collar. It's true. Liam is at the door right now. You have to see him now or it will be too late. The bodyguard pleaded. Fletcher did not waste any time. He pushed the bodyguard aside and left quickly. However, he lost his cool when he saw the dying Liam when he arrived at the door. Liam! What happened to you? Where's Noah? Fletcher's eyes widened in disbelief. Noah is dead. We were mistaken. You leave. Before Liam could finish his sentence, there was a splutter and he spat a mouthful of blood on Fletcher's face. His head slumped and he died on the spot. Liam! Fletcher exclaimed, overcome with sorrow. He had carefully trained both apprentices to pass on the mantle. He didn't expect them to die so suddenly. Why? Why did this happen? Who did this? Fletcher held onto the body and cried. I don't know. Liam was already in this state when we found him. The bodyguard shook his head. Mr. Lawson, Liam was very capable. How did he end up this way? Edwin walked toward them at this moment. Fletcher did not respond. He knelt down and inspected the body carefully. Broken bones and blood vessels, major organ damage. He must have met a powerful opponent. After the inspection, Fletcher's expression darkened. Are you saying that fellow by Natasha's side is very powerful? Edwin frowned. His strength must not be taken lightly if he could destroy my apprentices. I made a wrong judgment. Fletcher said in disappointment. Can you defeat him? Edwin implored. Although this man is very strong, he's still young. He can't be more powerful than my 40 years of experience. I will kill him and take revenge for my apprentices. Fletcher swore with determination. Mr. Lawson, since you're proficient in the mystic arts, you should use what you're confident in, Edwin reminded him. He didn't want any more accidents to occur. Humph! This man killed my apprentices by beating them to death. I would return an eye for an eye and kill him myself. Fletcher gritted his teeth. If he knew his apprentice died because of his attempt to punch Dustin, he would no longer have had this thought. In a lounge at the Emerald Building, Natasha greeted Dustin. Mr. Rhys, you're not hurt, are you? Her eyes scanned him over in worry. I'm fine. Dustin shook his head and continued, I've dealt with the twins. What do you plan on doing next? Those two were some of Edwin's most useful men. I think he will be very alarmed now that they are dead. We should take things slow lest we scare them away, Natasha said. She did not want to burn the bridge between her and Edwin. She just wanted to teach him a lesson so he would back down. This was the best option. All right. It's up to you. Dustin didn't say more. Oh, yes, you should take cover for the time being. I received news that Trevor's brother, Travis, is back and he's hunting for the murderer. Natasha's tone and expression turned grave. She would not pick battles with the military. Travis was a general in the war zone. Even she had to think twice before getting on the wrong side of him. Thanks for the advice. I know what to do. Dustin nodded. The position of general was a very powerful one. To someone ordinary, he held the power of life and death. However, Dustin was not so afraid. Meanwhile, in the Spanner villa, Travis stood by the coffin's side with his eyes closed. Outside the living room, members of the Spanner family knelt on the ground. Everyone had their heads down. Not a word was spoken, and the atmosphere was very tense. Trevor had died out of the blue, the traitor Mason had disappeared, and the murderer was nowhere to be found. The entire Spanner family was reeling from the loss. General, we've got something. At this moment, an adjutant walked in. Who is the murderer? Travis opened his eyes with a bloodthirsty look. We're not sure who the murderer is. But, we've found someone related to him, the adjutant explained. Be more specific. According to our investigation, 2 people went to the Dre Group before Trevor's demise. One was the Quine Group's president, Dahlia Nicholson. The other was Hunter Anderson, the president of Swinton's Business Commerce. You mean they are associated with the murderer? Yes. Dahlia, especially, is the key to everything. Edward was crippled because of her. She must know the murderer's identity. The adjutant deduced. That's right. That bitch ruined me. She has someone good at fighting on her side. They must have killed my father.